utilizing the ability to actually talk. When we start asking ourselves the questions that nobody else will, is it about meditation? Is it about inspiration? Is it about motivation? If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. So what are the types of questions that you ask yourself daily? What are the types of things that you're going through? Sometimes we need to give ourselves a minute. I was just listening to a quote that said sometimes you have to step out of the situation for a minute to evaluate it, to see if it's something you truly want, if you truly want to be a part of it, if your mentality is going to make it through it. And so as we continue here, I want you to recognize yourselves. I want you to recognize your mentality and the ability that you have to be who you are. A lot of times we're going to go through things. We're going to be tested in life in ways that other people might not want to be. We're going to be asking ourselves the questions that other people won't. We're going to be getting down with the things that nobody else can. And so what are some of those things that you get down with? What are some of those places where you go? I would like for you guys to share this. I have been building a community on multiple platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, and soon I hope to be on podcasts as well too. So inside the mentalities where we find ourselves, inside the abilities where we find who we are, inside the thought process and the ability to work through challenges and to look inside of ourselves, you got to start asking yourself, how can you get there? When can you get there? What is it going to take for you to get to that point where you're just honest with you? And it's important for you to see it inside of yourself as that. It's important for you to see yourself on that page, on those challenges, and to work through them, because we're all going to have challenges. And when you focus to that point, when you give yourself that place, when you give yourself that type of permission to be who you are on the inside, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to take you focusing to a place that nobody else will go. It's going to take you sitting down with yourself sometimes, revisiting the situation, revisiting the challenges, revisiting the mentality, the ability for you to be you, the ability for you to face off against you, the ability for you to answer the question inside of yourself, to sit down with who you truly are, and to just give yourself permission to manifest your life, to manifest your being, to realize that your challenges are worth it, that your ability is worth it, that your mentality is worth it, and that when you're going through challenges, when you're going through times, that sometimes sitting back for a minute is a positive thing. It can really put you in a place where you give yourself a foundation, where you center your focus, and that is a great thing. And when we recognize what we truly have, when we truly appreciate the people that we have in our lives, when we truly appreciate the challenges that we go through, and we truly appreciate that sometimes humbleness is the most required aspect in life. Sometimes the ability for you to be you is going to go outside of that. And that is where we start to recognize that each individual's path is important, that sometimes one challenge or another is going to come. It's going to be there for you. It's going to work through. It's going to ask you the questions that nobody else can. It's going to get down with the parts of you that nobody else will. It's going to start to manifest itself in your life. It's going to manifest itself in your being, and in your mentality. And so each day we will have challenges. Each day we will have things to work through. Each day is not going to be easy. It's going to be worth it. You're going to have to ride through storms. You're going to have to go through things. You're going to have challenges, and you're going to have to look inside of yourself to find the purpose, the path that you're on. And in utilizing your energy in such a way that you focus in that direction, that you focus in that ability, that you become that mentality that you are who you are. And when you come to that realization that you are always going to be you, that there is positive and negative things that are going to happen, it's going to be you that is going to overcome those challenges. It's going to be you that's going to ask the questions of your life. Ask the questions if this is where I'm meant to be. Is this what I'm meant to be doing? Is this where I want to go? And these types of challenges that I want to go through. And so each day you will have challenges. But if you are willing to work through them, and you're willing to face off against them, and sometimes it's going to take time. Sometimes it's going to take, the ability to sit down with who you are, to see that, the blessings that come your way are simple, that, who you are inside is a manifestation, and that you can do it. Then you can. But you have to give yourself that kind of permission. Recently I started back at the driving and getting out there and uplifting people and getting the manifestation. And sometimes as simple as opening a door for somebody, realizing that what they're going through, the challenges that you might be facing off against, the things that you might be going through, some other people might be going through too. It might just not be difficult on you, it might be difficult on other people as well too. And so are we going to focus on that page? Are we going to put ourselves in a place where we have what it takes to have that kind of mentality, to have that kind of ability, to have that kind of energy flowing from within ourselves, having that kind of ability to where we utilize what we have? Because each of us have gifts, each of us have a place inside of ourselves. We have challenges that nobody else could face off against for you, and inside of that place is where you start to ask yourself the question, what is it going to take? When can I start to give myself permission to be who I am? When can I start to overcome the challenges that nobody else can do for me? And where can I start to have that kind of mentality? And so that's where I started to ask myself that question. Am I focused? Am I centered on my being? Am I centered on my purpose? Am I centered on my path? And so each day we have to remember, sometimes you have to take a little bit of time to really evaluate what you truly have, what you really are working through, what you're really going through, and that you can do it, that you can overcome it, that when you are willing to go through the challenges that only you can, the ability for you to get to the other side is really in front of you. It's really there. It's the willingness to continue to push forward in such a way that it happens for you, and you are part of that process. You are a part of that page. You are a part of that purpose, and sometimes we have to give ourselves that time to realize that. And it doesn't matter who it is. You're going to have to, sometimes go back and rework a situation. You're going to have to rework a mentality. You're going to have to start reworking an ability inside of yourself, an ability inside of your challenges, an ability inside of who you are. And it's going to take you. It's going to take yourself. It's going to take your ability. It's going to take who you want to become. It's going to take what you want to do. It's going to take who you want to be inside. And sometimes you might not be right. Sometimes you might have to go back and look at the situation again. You might have to look at, how you can improve it, how you can work through it, where it started from, when it started, what types of challenges are you going through, where are you in your life's purpose? What is it that you're going through that nobody else can do for you? Where is it that you can grow? Where is it that you can be you, that you can find you, that you can be who you truly are on the inside? And inside of that, you're going to see that other people are going to be there to uplift you. Other people are going to be there to tell you it's possible. Other people are going to be there to be on your side. But you got to let those people that are not meant to be there for you move out of the way on their own. You got to see the purpose. And sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes, the people that are closest to you aren't there for you. And so you got to ask yourself the question, how can you start to go past that? And you're going to face off against different things inside of yourself. And it's inside of that that you can. It's inside of that that you will. It's inside of that that you can have the mentality to go past it. You can have the mentality to go within yourself. That you can have the mentality to be who you are. You are all blessings. You are all universal beings. You are a human being in this universe. You have a path in this universe. You have a purpose in this universe. Then it's the recentering of that reminds us that it's worth it. It's this recentering of that lets us see the values that we have around us, that lets us see the values that we have within us, that lets us see that you can do it, that you can achieve it, that you can become it, and that you should give yourself permission to be you. And so when we give ourselves that place, we start to open up to who we are inside, and we overcome our challenges by being who we are. We overcome our challenges by being who we are inside, where it's not about being perfect. It's not about being, it's about you versus you. It's about you facing off against you. It's about your mentality, your place, your being inside of you, being the human being that you are. You're not always going to have everything perfect. You're not always going to have everything working for you. It's when you're working when even things are failing. It's when you're working when, it's not going to be on your side all the time. And so it's when you're grinding with a focused mentality. It's when you're in a place where what you have inside is working, where no matter what's going on around you, you're still who you are. And so every day we focus to that point inside of ourselves. Every day we are going to go through things that nobody else can. We're going to be asking ourselves the questions, have you sat down with you? Have you studied you? Have you given yourself the place inside of you? Have you recognized that, that you are a positive force in this universe? That, it's up to you to see it for you. And so each day the challenges remind us of that. They remind us of why we should. They remind us of how we should. And so we start looking inside. We start looking at our ability. We start looking at our challenges, and we start to see that they are worth it. Your challenges are worth you overcoming. They are worth you finding that place inside of you. They are worth your ability to see you, to become you, to share you, to share your light, to share your purpose, to share your path. And recognizing that it's worth it, recognizing that you can do it, that you can become it, that you are a light in this universe, that you are a manifestation that is universal. What would it take for you to find that page inside of you? What would it take for you to see that you can do it, that you can become it, that you can light up in this universe? And that's the place where we have to start. That's the place where we have to go. That's the place where we have to recognize that, we are not perfect. We are not going to always make perfect decisions. It's the person who continues to see the positivity even in a negative situation. It's the person who starts to see the mentality inside of oneself to continue when other people would quit. It's the person who starts to see the ability to focus to the point where nobody else will go. that achieves. It's the one that continues to try, that continues to put themselves in a place, that continues to go through everything that, this human being can do and become, then manifests. It's the level of focus that one has to that point. It's the person who continues to put themselves in a place where their mentality has a purpose, where it's not about what we're fighting against, it's about being who we are. So recognize you are important. Recognize your journey is important. Recognize your path is important. Recognize your purpose is important. That what you do on a daily is able to overcome what nobody else can, where what you do is to be you, where what you do is to face off against the things that nobody else can. And so as we give ourselves that place, as we give ourselves those kinds of challenges, as we give ourselves that kind of mentality, as we give ourselves that permission, we're going to face off against things that nobody else can. And what do you face off against daily? I'd like for you guys to start sharing your challenges. I'd like you to start sharing your mentality. I'd like you to start sharing your ability to be you. I'd like the community to start to connect, to start to give each other permission to be who we are and to manifest our abilities to be who we are. And because that is important, that you are who you are inside. It is important that you go through the things that only you can. It's important that you see yourself, that you become who you want to be, that you work through the challenges that you face off against, that you can do the things that nobody else can do. And the first place starts inside of you. It starts inside of your mentality. It starts inside of your ability. It starts inside of your focus into, what is truly important, into what really matters, what, really matters to you. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to become? What is it that if you could do these things every day, if you could become this person on a daily basis, if you could face off against these kinds of challenges, then you would be who you are. And that is the reason why I tell people to write stuff down. That's why I write stuff down myself. That's why I study. That's why I sit down and understand. That's why I get to the place where we see who we are truly, who we truly are inside, where what we're facing off against is not greater than who we are, when our mentality is greater than it, when our ability is greater than it, when we're focused to that place inside of ourselves where, we are asking ourselves the question, am I, in what I'm doing today, is it motivating others? Is it giving others the ability to overcome their own challenges? Is it giving others the ability to go within themselves? Is it giving others the ability to become uplifted? Is it putting ourselves in a place, and are we able to tune that? Are we able to get to that mentality where we are uplifting, where other people become uplifted by having us in their life, where what we focus through, what we go through, is okay. It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. The challenges you're going to face off against, you can overcome. But you got to give yourself the mentality to go through it. You got to give yourself the mentality to be who you are inside. You got to give yourself the mentality to have that kind of focus. And so, sometimes it takes a moment sitting back and realizing what you truly have, for you to be grateful for all that you have in your life, that all that you have in your day, all that you have in your week is worth it. And so each day you can do it. Each day you can become it. Each day you can face off against those kinds of challenges, those kinds of things that, nobody else can do for you. And, as you do that for yourself, as you give yourself that place where you are you, others will see you for that person. They'll see you for that being that you are inside. They'll see you for those challenges that you face off against. They'll see you for who you want to become, who you want to overcome. What is it that you are? Who are you inside? What mentality do you have? Are you able to focus to a point where no one else can go? Are you able to face off against things that nobody else can? Are you focusing on the right tasks? Are you putting yourself in the place where things are starting to be turned positive? Are you giving the energy to those angles? Are you seeing the positivity in these challenges that, each of us face off against daily? And so the possibility of going past it, of working through it, of giving yourself that place, it's inside of each of us. And, we have to remember not to neglect ourselves, even when we're taking care, or, we have multiple obligations. We also do have one to be who we are on the inside. We have one to be who we truly are. And um, it's inside of ourselves that we see it. It's inside of ourselves that we become it. It's inside of ourselves that the mentality starts to radiate light outwards. And so, are you focusing to that point? Are you sitting down with yourself to that place where you can realize the blessings that you have? You can realize the mentality that you have. You can realize the ability that you have, that the magnitude that who you are is a blessing in the universe. And so we always are going to go through challenges. We're always going to have things that are going to work against us. We're always going to have people that are going to ask us the questions. We're always going to feel like we don't have enough time, we don't have enough space, we don't have enough ability. We have to look inside of what is positively happening for us, what is positively happening inside of us. And sometimes that's the first place that we have to look. It's the first place that we have to go. It's the first place that we have to look inside, is our mentality. We have to look inside of our ability. We have to look inside of our being. And so each day that we do that, each day that we give ourselves that place, we're in a victory. We're in a mentality. We have challenges for a reason. We have things that we have to work through daily that are for us and that are working with us. And so, are you focusing to that page? Are you with you through your challenges? Are you with you through the things that nobody else could do for you? Are you on a page where nobody else can ask the questions that you can? Nobody else can go through the things that you can. Nobody else can focus to that point where when they see you and you are doing this thing daily, you are being this person daily, you are going through these challenges daily, when you are giving yourself that mentality to continue no matter the challenges that you face off against. That's something we each have to ask ourselves. That's something that we have to each go inwards to see the answer. Where the level of focus lays is when you start to study that, when you start to see the results, you start to see the challenges as a positive thing. You start to see the mentality and the place in which it is. You start to see the ability, and you start to recognize that you can do it, you can achieve it, that you can become it. And so each day we're going to face off against challenges. Each of us are going to have our own challenges. We're going to have our own things. The universe is going to test us each daily to ask us the question, is this what we want? It's going to ask us the question, if these are the types of places we want to go. It's going to ask us the question, if this is what we truly want to be on the inside. It's going to ask us the question, if we really want to have that kind of mentality, if we want to have that kind of focus, if we want to go through the things that nobody else can. And so I want to share that with you. I want you to start to focus to that point where you are down with you, that you are you, that you can be who you are on the inside, that you can be who you are in the light that radiates outwards, comes from your level of focus. It comes from your level of being. That you don't have to change yourself to be who you are. You only have to see the positive in the things that you're looking at. You only have to see the positive in the person that you are. You only have to see the positive in the things that you want to do. You only have to have the mentality that you can do it, that you can become it, that you can light up in this universe. And so each day we are reminded of this. Each day we're reminded that we can do it, that we can become it, that we can light up the world, that we can become lights in the world, that we can manifest our being from within the universe, that No matter the challenges you face off against, is what you believe about you. It's what you believe about your ability. It's what you know about yourself that matters the most. Because when you sit down in a room by yourself, when you are going through the things that nobody else can do for you, when you're facing off against the challenges that only you can overcome, it's going to be you. It's going to be you who's going to ask yourself the question, how? It's going to be you who's going to ask yourself the question, where? It's going to be you that's going to ask yourself the question, if I can do this, if I can become this, if I can light it up to that point. It's going to be you that's going to have to work through it. It's going to be you that's going to have to see that you can do it. It's going to be you that's going to have to be who you are on the inside. And so what is it going to take for you to become that? Where is it, where's your mentality? What page are you on? What chapter of your life? Are you seeing the page that steps aside and sees you? Are you seeing the page that steps aside and is you? Are you seeing the page that nobody else can for you? Are you ignoring that page inside of yourself? Are you focused to that point where nothing has the ability to stop you from having a mentality of positivity? Nothing is stopping you from going through what nobody else can for you. Nothing is stopping you from focusing to that place where the universe starts working for you. The universe starts working through you. You can do it. You can become it. You can face off against it. But you got to see it for yourself. You got to hear it within you. You got to believe in you to that point where nobody else will. You got to believe in you to that point where your mentality radiates light, where your being is giving you the permission to face off against your challenges. The being is giving you permission to become that kind of reflection. The being is giving you that kind of understanding that you're focused on your path, on your journey, that you are on your path, that your journey is worth it, that your purpose is worth it, that your level of manifestation is worth it. And it's up to you to focus to that point. Nobody else can do it for you. Nobody else can become it for you. Nobody else can manifest it for you. And it's when you give yourself that place for you, when you give yourself that kind of understanding that you can be who you truly are, where you can face off against things no one else can, when you put your mentality into a place where you are it, where you know that when you face off against things that you're going to be positive, that it's all right that you've had challenges. It's all right that you've gone through things. It's all right that you are facing off against things daily. It's all right that we can go through things and that we can work through things and that we can manifest things in our life. But we got to let them manifest themselves. We got to let them be what they are. We got to let them go through their own challenges, fight off against their own demons, fight off against their own energy, become utilized in the universe to that point where you are who you are. So as you face off against things, remember your mentality. Remember your ability to be you. Remember your level of focus to where nobody else can go, where you are focusing on the positive, where you are focusing on the ability, where you are absolutely where you are meant to be, where you are meant to overcome, where you are meant to manifest, where your level of focus is within you, where your level of being is you, where you're focusing on the positive things in your life. You're becoming the positivity. You're becoming the manifestation of your being. You are a blessing in this world. You are a blessing inside of yourself. You have a focus to be who you are. And ask yourself that question, is that the page that you're on? Because you deserve to be on that page with you. You have lived a life. It might not have been easy. You might have had challenges. You might have had things that have worked with you, and then you might have had things that aren't working for you. But when you work through them, when you give yourself a way to truly make it through your challenges, when you give yourself a way to have that kind of mentality, when you give yourself a place from within to have a centering, when you give yourself a place within to have a mentality, when you give yourself permission to be who you are on the inside, the manifestation starts to radiate outwards. And so that is when other people start to call you a reflection of motivation. That is when they start to call you a reflection of strength. And so as you get inwards, as you face off against those things, you're going to realize you can be nothing less than yourself. You can be nothing less than who you are. You can be nothing less than the manifestation that you are a reflection, that you have what it takes to be you, that you have what it takes to work through you, that your mentality is there, that you can focus to that point where you can be who you are. And so as we focus to this place, we start to realize that others find inside of themselves what it means. And we have to start to care for them for who they are. We have to start to care for them who they are inside. And when they face off against their reality, they're going to have challenges, and it's our place to uplift them. It's our place to overcome it. It's our place to have a mentality that we are who we are in the inside. And so when we focus to that place where what we have going on inside isn't greater, what on the outside is not greater than what's going on inside, then that day is when we start using our tools. That's the day that we start using our mentality. That's the day that we start using our ability. That's the day that we start to see the beauty inside of others for who they are. It's when we start to focus to that point where it's inside that matters the most. It's when we focus to that point where we are going beyond the place that other people would go. We are going beyond the place where others would think. We're going beyond the mentality that others would have, that we're focused beyond that. And so each day we're going to face off against ourselves. Then it's the mentality that reminds us that what's going on inside's got to be greater than what's going on around us. What's going on inside's got to be you. Absolutely you versus you. It's not going to happen from somebody else. It's not going to happen for somebody else. It's what's going on inside of ourselves. And so when we give ourselves that place where we sometimes have to re-enter a room, we have to revisit our situations, we have to revisit our challenges, we have to see that we can do it, that we can become it. And it's inside of our mentality that you can achieve it. It's inside of your ability to give yourself permission to be who you are, to face off against the things that you can face off against, to be who you are on the inside. That's going to focus through your challenges, that's going to make it to the place where you want to go, that's going to ask you the questions that only you can ask yourself, that you can focus through it, and that it's going to be okay, that the storms that you're going to pass through are there for you, and they're meant for you to pass, they're meant for you to make it through, they're meant for you to see you as a light source in this universe, to see you as an ability inside of yourself, to see you as a challenge, that your level of focus is actually inwards. Your level of motivation reflects outwards, that what we have going on inside of ourselves is connected to our whole being, that our reflection radiates it, that our understanding is from within it, that what we have inside of ourselves matters, that each of us matter, that we truly matter inside, that we truly are a light in this universe. And so are we asking ourselves these types of questions? Are we getting down with these types of challenges? Are we giving ourselves the place? Are we giving ourselves the permission? Are we giving ourselves the ability to be who we are on the inside? Are we giving ourselves the ability to face off against the things that nobody else can for you? And so what I want you to recognize is that when you find the reality inside of yourself, when you find the ability inside of you, when you find you, when you are centered on you, when you give yourself that place, when you give yourself that kind of connection, when you give yourself that kind of purpose, remember that that is a blessing for you to be you. Remember that that is a blessing for you to face off against your challenges. Remember that your mentality is worth it, that your ability to be who you are on the inside is worth it. And so focusing to that place, focusing through those kind of challenges, focusing to that ability is to be inwards. It's to see that place inside of ourselves to where we have that kind of mentality, to where we have that kind of ability where we can focus beyond things that nobody else can, where we can get to the place where nobody else can go, where our mentality can go beyond what others have. And so focus to that place, focus to that ability to be who you are. And so that is where meditation comes in. The practice of self-study, of self-ability, self-challenges, self-reflection, self-understanding, self-emotion, ability to be who you are, the ability to face off against the things that you want to face off against, the ability to allow ourselves to overcome our own challenges, to get to the place where we give ourselves that kind of permission, where we give ourselves that kind of reflection, where we become who we are on the inside, where what we face off against, we overcome for ourselves. And so, as we focus beyond that point, as we get to that place where we gain the knowledge inside, we gain the being, we become who we are, we become who we understand that we have always been. You know, you have always faced off against challenges. You will always have things to work through. You will always have yourself. You will always have your mentality. You will always have that person that you are inside. And so when we focus to that place where what we are facing off against isn't greater than who we are, when we get to that place where our mentality gives us permission to be who we are, when we get to that place where what we are focusing on is our mentality, where what we're focusing on is our ability, where what we're focusing on is the challenges that we face off against daily, where what we are doing on a daily basis matters, where our being inside is reflecting outwards, where our ability inside is reflecting outwards, where our challenges inside no longer stop us. When we're focused to that point where what we have going on isn't greater than who we are, when we're focused to that place to where our mentality has an ability for you to be you, where you start to understand yourself, where you start to get down with who it is inside of you, when you're at that place where you are freeing yourself from truly being who you are, you're going to have the universe testing you. It's going to ask you the questions if you have the energy inside to face off against your own challenges. Each day we do that. Each day we visit that. Each day we get through that. Each day we face off against that is going to ask you the question, do you have what it takes? And the ability to get there is to focus. The ability to make it through that is to focus. The ability to find that inside of yourself is what it's about. The ability for you to get down with who you are, to focus beyond that point, to get to that place where you start to manifest that, where you start to understand that, where you start to see the understanding, see the reflection, see the being, see the manifestation inside of ourselves, that our ability starts to open up, the knowledge starts to become available, the challenges start to become overcome, the ability for you to ask yourself that question on a daily basis. That's what it's about. It's about you versus you. It's not about you versus somebody else. It's not about you versus the person down the street. It's not you versus the person beside you. It's not that you versus the people that you want to become. It's you versus yourself. Each day that you can do that, each day that you can achieve it, each day that you can become it, each day that you can manifest it, each day that you can, go through challenges and make it to the other side, is a victory. And so, what does it take for you to get there? What does it take for you to go through it? What does it take for your mentality to start to give you the permission to have that kind of knowledge? It's through your discipline of oneself to be oneself. It's through your discipline of oneself to go through your challenges. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be it's not going to just be about you sometimes. You know, your universe has got to put other people's perspectives in place. You know, when you recognize your being, when you recognize your purpose, when you recognize your path, it's going to come down to your level of your discipline within you. It's going to come down to your level of your being within you. It's going to come down to your level of mentality within you. It's going to come down to your level of knowledge. It's going to come down to your ability to apply it. It's going to come down to your ability to become it. It's going to come down to your ability to go through it. And it's going to come down to your ability to manifest it. And when you start doing that, when you start becoming that, when you start going through that, when you start to, give yourself that time each day, when you start to give yourself that place each day, when you start to give yourself that purpose each day, it's not going to be for somebody else. It's going to be for you. It's going to be inside of you. It's going to be inside of your mentality, your ability to connect your focus and your knowledge together to the point where it is you. And so, when you do that for you, when you give yourself that place inside of you, you free you. You inspire others by being yourself. You inspire others by being nothing more and nothing less than who you are. But you have to allow others to be who they are. You have to allow others to face off against those challenges for themselves. You have to allow others to see that what they face off against is worth it. You have to let them choose for themselves what they want to do, what positive forces they want in their lives, what positive beings they want to become, what positive places they want to go through, what positive challenges they want to face off against, so they can manifest it, so that they can understand it, so that they can see that it's worth it, so that they can become that light in this universe. And so each day that we do this for ourselves, each day that we face off against these kinds of challenges, each day that we give permission for ourselves to face challenges, each day that we give permission for our discipline to have its place, each day that we give ourselves the ability to be who we are, is a day that there is a victory in your life. Because when you wake up with a positive mentality, when you wake up with an ability to focus beyond challenges, when you wake up with an ability to be who you truly are on the inside, it's going to come down to your level of discipline. It's going to come down to you riding through the storms. It's going to come down to your mentality to see who you are, to see who you are on the inside, to test this universe to see if it's what you want. It's going to come down to those stormy nights. It's going to come down to those stormy days. It's going to come down to you believing in you, into your mentality, into your ability for you to be yourself. And so, there is a message out there in the universe for you. There is a place for you. There is an ability for you. There is an ability to focus beyond those types of challenges, to find that kind of place inside of ourselves that asks us the question, is this what we truly want? Is this the universe we truly want to live in? Is this the place, the things that we want to go through? Is it the thing that you want to become? And it's going to be inside of yourself that you're going to see that. It's inside of your discipline. It's inside of your mentality that, sometimes we might drop the ball, that sometimes we might fail at things. And we might be set back to a place where we find the reality, where we find the level of discipline inside of ourselves to be ourselves. And sometimes we might have to let other people know that. We see that, we understand that, and that we're there for them, and that we're there to uplift them. And that what we see inside of ourselves is worth it, that what we see inside of who we truly are, and that there are people who do care for you, for who you are inside. And that care for you with a mentality, with an ability for you to be yourself. And so when we see the positivity in that, when we see the positivity and the ability through that, when we see the positivity that we are yet but humans, that we do make mistakes, that we can make it through storms, that when we give ourselves that place to focus beyond those kinds of challenges, that we start to see those types of blessings, that we start to see that type of focus beyond focus, knowledge beyond knowledge, discipline to the point beyond. And where does it lay? Instead, it's inside of you. It's inside of your level of discipline. It's inside of your being. It's inside of your ability. It's inside of your challenges. It's inside of your permission for you to face off against you, for you to go through what nobody else can for you. And so when we see that for ourselves, when we give ourselves that place, when we get to that level of mentality where we're so disciplined that the reflection is a radiating light of inspiration. It lightens other people's day. It lightens other people's ways. It lightens other people's mentality. It lets them know that it's okay. It lets them know that they can do it, that they can achieve it, that they can become it, that they can focus beyond it. And so each day we're asked that type of question. We're asked, what does it take to get there? How do we get there? When do we get there? What tools can we use to get to that level of discipline? What type of tools can we use to get through that type of challenges? What type of tools can we get to that place where other people are the ones calling us an inspiration? Where other people are calling us a light in the universe? Where it's coming from within our own level of discipline. It's uplifting other people to that page where you are truly who you are on the inside, where you are truly your being, where you're truly manifesting light into the universe, because you are a blessing in this universe. You have a path, you have a purpose, you are going to have challenges, and it's going to be in those challenges that you're going to light up in this world. It's in those challenges that other people are going to become inspired. It's in those challenges that we find ourselves. It's in those challenges that we liberate ourselves from our own challenges themselves. So, as other people see you as a reflection, uplift them as well. Tell them it's possible. Tell them when you do it for yourself, when you become it within you, when you see it for you, when you free you, when you truly get down with yourself where you are who you are, where you truly get down with yourself where you are who you are on the inside, where you are who you are on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly, on a yearly, when you manifest that, when you truly manifest who you are, you're going to need to uplift others as well. They're going to see you as a reflection of understanding. They're going to see you as a reflection of light. They're going to see you as a reflection of being. Because after all, you are a human being. So be present in your journey. Be present in your path. Be present in your purpose. And be present in your understanding that others are going to have challenges too. Focus beyond that. Focus to the place of positivity where what you are is uplifting others, where what you are is achieving a light in this universe, where what you are is becoming a manifestation in this universe. Ask yourself that question. If that's what you want, then this channel is for you. This ability for you to face off against those kinds of challenges, this ability for you to see it for yourself, this ability for you to become it within you. It's all there for you. It's when you sit down with yourself and you start to vibrate with a light. You start to vibrate with a being. You start to vibrate with a mentality. It's inside of you that you give yourself the permission to be a tool in this universe that you already are. After all, you are being. You are present inside of you. You will go through your path. Nobody else can do it for you. And it's up to you to become that discipline which you are, that being in this universe, that tool that you are. That is a place where other people start to use your tools. They start to use your abilities. They start to see that your ability to overcome your challenges are worth it. That none of us are going to be perfect at everything. That each of us are going to fail at some things. And so when we uplift each other, when we give ourselves that place, where we give ourselves that purpose, where we give ourselves that blessing that we are in this universe, is when the manifestation starts to radiate light outwards. Uplift other people. Uplift other people in such a way that they see you for you, that they see you through you, they see you on a daily basis. They ask you how to do it for themselves. They ask you how to become it within themselves. They ask you to give them an ability to just be around you, to be with you, to manifest that light outwards from within you. And so when you're that disciplined, you will see it. You'll become it. You will achieve it. But you got to give yourself that place. You got to give yourself that mentality. You got to give yourself that purpose, that you're focused to that point, that you're focused to that place, that you're focused to that mentality, that you are who you are. Focusing through it, focusing with it, focusing on it. That you can do it and that you can achieve it. What does it take for us to find that inside of ourselves? What does it take for us to be that for who we are? What does it take for us to see it for yourself? You know, as you radiate from your level of discipline, as you see your classroom, as you see your purpose, as you see your path, as you see your journey, you know, it's going to light up other people's worlds. It's going to light up other people's beings. It's going to light up other people's days. It's going to light up other people's ways. It's going to get to the place where others can see themselves. Others can see their challenges. Others can see their purpose. They can see their reflection. They can start to understand themselves. They can start to become who they are. They can start to focus through what nobody else can do for them. They can start to light up this world. They can start to become this gift that they are in this universe. And it's here for each of us to do that for ourselves. It's here for each of us to become that for ourselves. Each of us to become that gift that you are. You were given a name. You were given a purpose. You were given a path the day you were born. The breath, the very breath that you have in your body is worth it. That level of discipline, that level of purpose, that level of understanding is that you are an inspiration just from being yourself. That you are an inspiration from focusing through the things that nobody else can do for you. That what you have inside radiates light outwards. That you can do it. That you can become it. That you can manifest it. And so, focusing to that place where we're utilizing this, where we're utilizing this purpose, where we're utilizing this path, where the journey is worth it, where what we're facing off against isn't against you, it's working for you, where the universe starts to work with you. It starts to allow you to see your purpose in your path, in your journey, in your ability for you to be you. And a lot of people won't do that for you. A lot of people won't ask themselves that question. They won't get to that place where they give themselves that permission for them to be a tool in this universe. It's on that page that we find ourselves. It's on that page that we become that in the universe. It's on that page that we face off against that in this universe. It's on that page that we manifest it in this universe. Because we are, after all, a part of this. You know, whatever you call it, you are a part of it. Whatever you call it, you are a being in this light. Whatever you call it, you are a being in this challenges. Whatever you call it, you are who you are. And so it's up for you to ask you the questions that nobody else can. It's up for you to go through the things that nobody else can do for you. It's up for you to focus to that place where nobody else can go. It's up for you to become that level of discipline that's called you, that your name means something to you, that it has a purpose within you, that you are a manifestation in this universe, that you can face off against challenges, that you can overcome the challenges that you go through. And it's with that mentality that we free ourselves to free other people as well from you being yourself. And a lot of people, they stop themselves at that page. They stop themselves at that ability. They stop themselves before they can even become a positive force in the universe, before the universe can start to utilize their own mentality, can utilize their own ability to get to the place of focus where you are so disciplined that the knowledge becomes a place of centering inside of oneself. I want you to be inspired to be yourself. I want you to be inspired to be who you are on the inside. I want you to be inspired to recognize that you are a blessing in this universe, that you have a purpose in this universe, that you have a path in this universe. And so as we see that for ourselves, as we give ourselves that place inside of who we are, as we find that place inside of the challenges that we face off against, as we find that place inside of who we are inside, we start to free ourselves. And when you free you, when you truly free yourself, when you truly start to ask yourself the questions, we truly start to face off against the things that, are negative and positive in the universe, when you truly start to give yourself that place to grow, give yourself that place to be who you are, when you truly start to face off against the things that nobody else can for you, when you truly start to answer the questions in the universe, when you truly start to become that kind of light, when you start to become that kind of knowledge, when you start to utilize the lessons, when you start to utilize the purpose, when you start to utilize your path, when you start to utilize your level of focus, the universe is going to start to work with you. And that's what Einstein stated, that the universe can become your friend. That when you focus to that place where you achieve it, when you achieve discipline that's called you, you're manifesting things in your life. When you achieve discipline that's called you, you're manifesting things in your being. When you're becoming present inside of yourself, when you're becoming a purpose inside of you, when you're becoming a reflection inside of you, when you are focusing to that place where it's okay that you fail sometimes, that you can succeed through your failures, that you can focus to that place where you can become an inspiration just from being yourself, that you inspire other people, that you become that third part called inspiration. And I want you to see that if there's anything else in this universe, I want you to see yourself as an inspiration. I want you to see yourself as a light. I want you to see your challenges to be able to overcome your challenges. I want you to see your reflection so that you can be who you are, so that you could face off against the things that you face off against, so that you can go through the things that only you can, and so that you can go and become that person who you are inside. When we focus beyond that, when we get to that place where what we have going on inside is a light, when we get to that place where what we're manifesting outwards is a light, we get to that place where we're utilizing the energy inside of ourselves, we get to that place where we understand who we are, we get to that place where others start calling you an inspiration in your world. They start calling you a being in your world. They start calling you a manifestation. They start to call you a light inside of who you are. When you see that for yourself, when you become that for yourself, when you do that for others, then the light inside radiates outwards. Then the being inside radiates outwards. Then the understanding inside comes from within. And it's inside of that place that we focus. It's inside of that place where we become. It's inside of that place where we manifest. It's inside of that place where we light up in this universe. And so focus to that point, focus to that place, focus to that purpose. Become who you are inside. Become who you are in that being. Get to that place where you are lighting up other people's worlds from you being yourself, and watch the tools that work through you and work with you, and watch the universe see that place. Watch the universe see that purpose. Watch the universe see that challenges. Watch the universe become that light. Watch that universe become you. Watch the universe work through you. Watch the universe work with you. Watch the universe manifest itself on your daily, on your weekly, on your being, that others would become uplifted by just seeing and understanding that you are a light in this universe. I want you all to be left with a blessing. I want you all to be blessings in this universe. I want you all to become that focus, that purpose, that path, that journey, and recognize that you can do it for yourself. I want to leave you with blessings, blessings, blessings. As I close, I want to say blessings as always and namaste.